roaring 20s gave birth to the Charleston, bob haircuts, speakeasies, and the movie career of LorenzoTucker, the black Valentino of race movies.
Gentlemen, to misunderstand the attitude which I am forced to assume in these relations. The situation is a phenomenal one, to say the least.
But unlike Valentino, he was one of the few silent film stars, black or white, to survive the transition from silent to sound film. Tall, dark, and handsome, he was a popular romantic leading man of all black cast movies, playing opposite some of the industry's most beautiful women, including Hollywood legend Mae West. But his looks often gave him a difficult road to travel with whites and blacks. In a moment, the black Valentino.
You want me to come down, open the door, and come there where you is? I know, but honey, how did you slip out on our honeymoon? That ain't you. Is that you? If that you, what's your name? Isabel. Oh, yeah, you know you beautiful, beautiful. Somebody told you. What size feet you left?
Stephen Fetchit was a Hollywood favorite. Slow talking, slow moving, slow witted. He was the prototype of Hollywood's image of the black male.
Hair like what I ain't got. What's bobbed hair?
And nightclubs is good singing and dancing until the wee hours of the morning.
But the black independent film industry during the 20s, 30s, and 40s presented a very different image of the black man. The dashing Noble Johnson of the Lincoln Motion Picture Company was the Clark Gable of race movies during the 20s. Exciting Paul Robeson, legendary dancer Bill Robinson, and Ralph Cooper were all black leading men. Handsome and debonair, they were matinee idols for many young women. But the leading man of leading men was LorenzoTucker, race movies' black Valentino. Born in 1907, Tucker seemed destined for the stage.
I became a dancer, and then they started to saying, well, you'd make a terrific straight man. I pulled out of there, and this is how I became the straight man for Mamie Smith. I became the straight man for Bessie Smith, both in their heydays. And then, this is quite an interesting thing, Ed Daly had a show going in vaudeville called the Ed Daly's Black and White Review. I did the straight on that, the first half, with the white comics. The second half, I darkened just a little, and I became the straight man for the colored half. And Tim Moore was one of the comics. He was called the Scottish comic. And he became later the Kingfish of the Amos Nandy show. And Jimmy Ferguson became Baron Lee, and Jimmy Ferguson was one of the comics on there. So that was actually my beginning. Now I'm established around the country, and I hadn't met Mishaw yet.
A discovery of black filmmaker Oscar Mishaw, Tucker made about 20 films in a career that spanned 3 decades. Tucker was Mishaw's favorite star.
We did an average of 2 pictures a year. I made 14 with him. He had labeled me as the second Rudolph Valentino, and I don't mind saying this because, I mean, I looked at myself. I was quite handsome in those days, you know, and I knew it too, and I felt it.
Now, let me see.
Tucker also made all-black films for white producers until 1947. He starred in Southland Pictures' The Black King in 1932.